not sure what happened there. Everything I was saying was like double and triple repeating itself. Yeah, I'm probably going to do. All right, so nobody's in here yet. Don't know what happened there. Hey, little A, how are you? You were the first one. There's actually another one that just joined. I was on a second ago, and I'm not exactly sure what happened, but everything I was saying was live, but everything I was saying was like double and triple, like coming out of my speaker on my phone back at me. It was extremely annoying, and I definitely could not deal with that. I'm good, little E. As good as I can be on a Monday. It's kind of gloomy. It's like a typical Monday. It's gloomy here. Well, the sun's trying to peek out a little bit. There's definitely some rain in the forecast, but it's hot, which is weird because over the weekend it was relatively cool. But yeah, it's probably pushing 90 or more. Did I like the E film? Um, I did. I found it. Germany. I didn't know you were from Germany, Lily. Did not know that. I follow your channel. I subscribed to it, but I didn't know you were in Germany. Um, did I like the movie? This is kind of complicated. This is kind of a complicated answer because I found it entertaining. I think Austin Butler did an absolutely fantastic job. I don't think anybody could have done the role any better. The only one that I think is close to it was when Kurt Russell did it. Oh, you're stationed here. Oh, okay, cool. Um, but I don't know. I think they could. I think they. I think Baz or Lowerman. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. I think he could have done so much more with it than he did. I cried during the end when he sang. You know what, Jonas? I That was the best part of the movie for me. The way they transitioned from Austin Butler, they had him in the makeup and his face was real full and heavy, and then they transitioned into Elvis doing it. Yeah, that got me. That was emotional. Um, and I think I don't know if that was Baz's idea or if that's something that he came up with. I thought that was absolutely phenomenal. And I found a lot of the movie entertaining. I loved the 70s rendition of Elvis. I loved how they did the international and then when it later, um, yeah, yep, I agree, Little E. I loved how they went to, they showed like the shots of the international, which later became the Hilton. I love that they had authentic jumpsuits for Austin Butler. There were parts of it I think were a little sensationalized, but again, it's Hollywood. That's what happens with any type of biographical movie or anything like that. The only thing that I think that Baz really missed the boat on is he really dropped the ball and failed miserably in showing Elvis's kind spirit. Elvis was a huge philanthropist. I think I said that right. He gave to dozens upon dozens of charities throughout his life. He was extremely charitable. Would give anybody the shirt off his back. He loved to buy things for people. He loved to give gifts. What is your opinion on Tom Parker? I think he absolutely held Elvis back for the majority of his time on Earth. All right. I struggle with when the questions come up because I want to answer and be clear on every question that you guys ask me, and I want to acknowledge you. That's what this whole thing is about. Hey, Stefano, what did you think about the new box set? What did you think? Well, let me go back. Bear with me here. Okay, so let me answer Jonas's question first, and then Stefano will answer yours. So Jonas asked me what my opinion on Tom Parker was. The fact that he got 50% of everything Elvis earned is ludicrous. Even for that time and the day that he promoted Elvis. I think he took advantage of Elvis in a lot of ways, and I think that at the end of the day, Tom Parker was out to line his pockets. But I will tell you, I don't think anybody could have promoted Elvis as good as Parker did. So it's kind of for me, it's kind of like a love hate. I hate that I feel like he really took advantage of Elvis. Um, and I wish somebody would have been behind the scenes and would have stepped in for Elvis when he signed that contract back in the end of 1955, because to give somebody half of all your earnings on every film, every album, every concert, everything is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I think the standard industry now, when you have agents representing artists, I want to say it's like 10% and 15 is considered over the top. So the fact that you're talking about arguably the greatest entertainer, in my opinion, the greatest entertainer of the 20th century, and his manager is getting half of everything you made, pretty ridiculous. I think he really hurt Elvis because, as we know now, he was an immigrant, an illegal immigrant, which is why he didn't want Elvis playing outside of the United States. Think about this. Think about if Elvis, as big as he was during his time touring in the 70s. Hey, Kenneth, I am. Absolutely love that. I love your channel. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, so that movie does come out on Blu-ray, DVD, and 4K, which I have another announcement about that. Hopefully I don't forget. But what was I saying? I do this all the time. It sucks to get old, but about how he promoted Elvis. I think he promoted Elvis better than anybody on the planet could have. He was fantastic at doing that and getting his boy, as he called him, which I hated when he called him that. And he called him that a lot throughout his whole career. My boy this and my boy that. I'm sorry, that pisses me off because he's a human being. I don't know, but he did a fantastic job of promoting Elvis's work, his music, his films, everything. Yeah, literally, exactly. I just think he took. I do think I don't think there's another person on this planet. Oh, thank you, Jonas. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate you subscribing. I really do. That means a lot to me. Yeah, I don't think there was another person alive at that time who could have promoted Elvis any better than Tom Parker did. Hey, Marcus, how are you, bud? Hope you're having a good morning. But like I said, I just think the fact that he wouldn't allow Elvis, good deal, Marcus. Enjoy. I think he really held Elvis back that way. The fact that he couldn't tour internationally, in Europe, in Japan, wherever. And Elvis clearly wanted to do that. If you listen to the, good morning, Carrie David. Hope you're doing well, sir. Even in Elvis's Madison Square Garden press conference, somebody asked him about touring internationally, and he matter-of-factly said that he would love to. But as we know, the Colonel wouldn't have it because he'd be exposed. And that's just the way it goes. It sucks. I do think in a lot of ways he held Elvis back, but like I said, he promoted Elvis well. He made some shady deals, I think, along the way. But yeah, literally, I agree. It was referenced, and it's just, so yeah, that's my thought on it. Like I said, for me, it's like a love-hate. I love how well he promoted Elvis, but I also hate that I think he took extreme advantage of Elvis Presley. So that's my take on it. Let me go back to, what was the other question? Oh, hold on, no, that's not what I wanted. I'm still trying to learn this, guys, how to look at, live chat. There we go. Okay. Because somebody else had another question. Again, Jonas, thanks for subscribing, buddy. I appreciate it. Okay. Stefano asked, hey, Mark, what do you think about the new box set Elvis on tour? I will tell you, I cannot wait. I wish it was coming out sooner. There's still a little over 2 months to go before. I think it comes out, is it November 15th? I could be wrong on that date. Somebody can chat or comment what the exact date. I know it's in early to mid-November. I am pumped about it. And it actually annoys me because I've actually seen people post some negative on some of the Facebook pages that I belong to. Um, it's at a lower price right now. Marcus, where at? Well, I heard on eBay somebody had told me I want to say they said it was $95 on Amazon. I asked for it for Christmas. Yeah, I don't know if it's even available on the Elvis Shop of London. I know he had 81.99. Forget the. Carrie David says, Mark, what do you think of Priscilla? Um, I don't know. That's a good question. I personally think that Tom did, in fact, contribute to Elvis' premature death by working him day and night, concert after concert. He did up to 2 concerts. Who said, sorry. The one thing I don't like about the live chat is I don't like how quickly, like, you guys send these and I'm trying to read them and it fades off. So Jonas said that he thinks that Tom Parker contributed to Elvis's downfall. Carrie, David, I want to get your question in just a second about Priscilla, so bear with me. Yeah, Elvis, some people would say, oh, Elvis only did, 45-minute to 1 hour shows. That was true in like the early part of the 70s, but you got to remember, Elvis, as opposed to a lot of performers nowadays, and even 20 years ago, Elvis would never take a day off. If he did a short tour, say it was like a 12 or 14 city tour, he would do all 14 days straight. And in a lot of the bigger cities, he'd do an afternoon show at 2:30 and an evening show at 8:30. When he was in Vegas, at his Vegas engagements, he would do shows at 2:30 in the morning. Like he got worked to death. And I think there's a part in the Elvis movie, and this is actual, from what I understand, it's factual, where Elvis had passed out. They were trying to revive him. And it wasn't long before he passed, and he said, I don't care what you guys got to do. Get him ready to get out on that stage. And that's another thing about him that really, really bugs me. It bothers me that to me, what Tom Parker cared about was the almighty dollar. He wanted his boy to be out there performing and bringing in those cash receipts. But so yeah, I do think that Parker had a big, he was a big contributor to Elvis's downward spiral, so to speak. Carrie David, you asked about Priscilla. I'm kind of in the middle of the road with Priscilla. I think she was good for him. A lot of what happened. Hey Nigel, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Thanks for joining. Hope you're having a good morning. Well, it's morning here in the States, a little after 10 on the East Coast. Priscilla, I think, was good for him, but the only thing that matters is that man gets up on stage tonight. Yeah, I knew he had said it, and then they put it in the movie. So when they were putting his head in the ice, and I don't know how true that part of it is, but I do know Parker was concerned about getting Elvis on stage, no matter what. I think Priscilla was good for him, but I think Priscilla grew tired of Elvis's excursions with the opposite sex. London 15, so 3:17 your time. Good deal. Except it happened on a bed. Yeah, I don't know. In the movie, like I said, there was a lot of things there were a lot of inaccuracies in the movie, but again, it's Hollywood. But yeah, I think Priscilla just got weary. Elvis went on the road a lot, and especially when she got into like 1970, 71, 71, Elvis would do these shows and he wouldn't take Priscilla with him. And I think the reason he didn't take Priscilla with him is because of some of the shenanigans that went on the road and, Elvis's lifestyle. And here's the thing, man, people can knock it and say, oh, he was, there's a lot of infidelity, he cheated, he did this and that. And I try to look at it. I try to look at the full spectrum. I don't endorse, I'm happily married. I adore my wife. I do not, under any circumstances, am suggesting that infidelity or cheating is good. It's not. It's destructive. Good morning, Yamleth. Marquez, is it? This light on my camera stand kind of blinds me a little bit. Hope you're doing well. It's one of those things where you look at who Elvis was. Elvis at that time was probably the biggest sex symbol in the world. He was the biggest entertainer in the world. He was adored by literally millions of people, a lot of women. From what I hear, when he was on the road, he had his choice of any woman he wanted. His entourage would bring women up to him. And Marcus, yeah, I agree with that. Marcus says he was forced to marry her. He made a promise to Priscilla's dad. If he agreed to let her move to the States and stay in Memphis, then he would marry her. And Elvis was a man of his word. Of all his faults and the things that he did that probably wasn't the greatest choices that he made, he was still human at the end of the day. But he was a man of his word. That I know for an absolute fact. People that knew him, family members, his cousins, people that were close to him will always tell you Elvis was a man of his word. He was a hard worker and he did what he thought was best. Uh, and literally, I agree, and that's what I'm saying. I do not encourage. I don't support infidelity. I think it's wrong. When you are married, I think it should be for life, and I think you need to be true to your spouse. Um, but, and here's the but part of it. When you look at who he was and the temptations, I'm sure, that were in front of him night after night, and being who he was, I find it hard to believe that there's too many guys or women, regardless, that would be able to avoid that temptation. And it's just, yeah, literally said that she couldn't forget the cheating. Priscilla couldn't handle him being away. Um, and I agree with that. I think she got very lonely, and really, Elvis kind of set things into motion for what happened with Priscilla and Mike Stone. Mike Stone was associated with Elvis. I don't know if it was his direct um, instructor, but Elvis introduced Priscilla to Mike Stone in order for her to learn karate and self defense. Um, and One thing led to another, and she ended up being unfaithful, and then they ended up splitting up. And when Elvis found out about it, apparently he was furious, as anybody would be. Kerry David just said something very interesting, which is the second part of his question about Priscilla. So we go post death. So after Elvis passed away, she was absolutely instrumental in getting Graceland turned into a tourist a tourist attraction, and has morphed Graceland into what it is today. And she has been very instrumental in keeping his legacy alive, strengthening what's already an amazing legacy. So, yeah, I agree with Carrie David 110%. She has been absolutely vital in the success of Graceland. Who's to say if anybody would have came along and done it? But a lot of people have taken criticism. Well, she's really benefited from Elvis, but let's be real. She did a ton behind the scenes. She got the best accountants. She got the best people to set everything up. She's on top of everything. She's involved very, very heavily. Is she making a mint? Yeah, she's making money hand over fist, but she works hard. She has worked hard for almost 40 years, 40 years ago this year. And yeah, I don't fault her for that. I think she has done an amazing, amazing job. Um, I'm not sure what I thought about her, how they showed her in the Elvis movie. I don't know. Don't know how spot on that is. She saw the movie and she said she was touched by it, and she, loved the way the actress portrayed her. But so she didn't seem to have any qualms about it. So maybe the majority of it was true. Um, so speaking of 4K, I'm actually probably going to do a video on this tomorrow. I did, if it doesn't get deleted, I don't know if I know I edited the video. I did a video of a review of a song, and I believe I did upload it. So hopefully it doesn't get taken down, because I play some of the song in it. But the source I use is somebody who's on YouTube that allows people to use it. So hopefully it stays. 4K release. So I don't know how many of you know. I am big into movies. You can see my TV right here. I have an LG OLED. I have a very, very high-end Panasonic 4K Blu-ray player. I'm just starting to really build my collection up. But coming out in November, I want to say November 15th, um, other than the Elvis movie of it, his voice is almost. Yep, I agree. Um, but Paramount is releasing on 4K Blue Hawaii. And I am pumped about it because a lot of the 4K transfers of older movies look absolutely spectacular. They were filmed, most of them were filmed on 35 millimeter film, very high quality. But I have the DVD of Blue Hawaii. I've had it for years. It's my favorite Elvis movie. It's my favorite Elvis soundtrack. I'm very big on it. I have several copies of it on vinyl. Um, but see, Joe, so I have to are you saying you think Elvis Austin Butler looks as good as Elvis? Because if you're saying that, I have to disagree. I have to politely disagree. I think I'm, you know, I don't know. I think Elvis looks spectacular the majority of his life. He was one of a kind. But everybody's entitled to their opinion, so we'll leave it at that. But yeah, I am super pumped about Blue Hawaii coming to 4K. It will come with a Blu-ray as well, as most 4K packages do. But on DVD, it looks fantastic. It's very colorful. Dean Z. Oh, Jonas, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Austin Butler. I'm like, I have to check out Dean Z. I think I know who it is. And you're right. He looks a lot like Elvis. Built like him, the face, the hair, everything. But and it never Blue Hawaii never even went out on Blu-ray that I know of. It might have went out maybe internationally, and yet you're dealing with the different regions, and when you have the regions, sometimes it's not compatible with US players. So I personally would have stayed away from that. Sorry. So I would have stayed away from any type of international Blu-ray release, but I don't think it was ever released on Blu-ray anywhere. It was on DVD, but now it's coming out on 4K, and I think it's going to look freaking spectacular. So I will be getting that. Oh, this is one of the best in the world. I agree, Nigel. One of a kind. No one else like him. So yeah, so that's coming out November 15th. Of course, you have the Elvis on Tour. I am super pumped about Elvis on Tour, the box set. It's going to have, is it 5 concerts or 4? I think it's 4 concerts. I think they're going to be completely remastered. I think they're going to clean them up. I think they're going to sound absolutely spectacular. It is through RCA Legacy, so it's going to sound really good. The Blu-ray, I'm glad they're doing a... Do I own one of these jumpsuits? I wish I did. No, no, I don't. You probably need several $100,000 to be able to own one. I know I want to say it might have been last fall or last winter, the jumpsuit that Elvis wore on the Saturday evening June 10th performance at Madison Square Garden, and then he wore it again on June 11th on the matinee, the last of the 4 shows. He wore it again. That actually went up for auction, I want to say in New York, and I want to say it's sold for about 1.2 or 1.3 million. So it is now in a private collection. As are a lot of his. I always wanted to buy one, and tomorrow I'm finally going to buy the white one anymore. Oh, wow. Hold on, let me pull your... Crap, that's not what I wanted. Oh, Jonas, I did not mean to do that. I made you a moderator. I don't know how that happened. Crap. Let's see. No. Cancel. Come on. Bear with me, guys. Sorry, I'm still getting used to this live chat. There we go. There we go. Yo, this is not... It's not being remastered. It's only remixed. Oh. So Jess says I'm finally going to buy the white one he ordered. A copy of one. Okay, I'm like, wait a second. How are you going to get a jumpsuit? Yeah, they're not readily available unless it goes up for auction. Yeah, to have like a copy of it would be cool. That's a lot. That's what a lot of the Elvis impersonators have. But yeah, a lot of his, I'd probably say, if I was to guess, I'd say about 2/3. Yeah, Nigel, I'm with you, buddy. I cannot wait for it to come out. Yeah, the majority of his jumpsuits are on display at Graceland. I think there's a couple of them that I think are in different like Hard Rock cafes. I believe at least that used to be the case, but they may all now be because they had a new exhibit for the jumpsuits that opened about 3 or 4 months ago. I've heard mixed reviews on it. I'll tell you why I've heard mixed reviews, but I do know there's several that are in private collections, and Graceland doesn't even know where the whereabouts. Like one of his most popular jumpsuits is the Peacock jumpsuit that he wore, I think, in '74. He started wearing it in 1974, and that is considered one of his best. And I like it too. It's one of his best jumpsuits, and that's in a private collection, and nobody in the Elvis industry knows where it's at. Watch forward ties. It's pretty funny, Joe. It's pretty cool, dude. Um, but yeah, nobody knows it's privately owned, and nobody's stepping up. Grayson would love to have it, and I think which this is my favorite jumpsuit, but the Afternoon in the Garden, the June 10th afternoon show that he did, where he wore the powder blue suit with the gold applique on it and the cape. That's also in a private collection, and I would love to see that. Yeah, I wish Marcus said he wishes all the jumpsuits were available. I will say the majority of them are there. A lot of them are there. When I went back in 2001, me and my buddy are trying to get a trip together to go, hopefully in March of 2023, next year. We're probably going to drive because airline tickets are so flippin' ridiculously expensive. Gas has gone down, at least some here in Delaware. I think it's down. I think I saw the other day I got gas was $3.37 a gallon. Still way overpriced as far as I'm concerned, but that's another whole live stream if we wanted to do that. But so what I was going to say was how I've heard mixed reaction with how they had the jumpsuits. So because they have so many, the way this new and you can comment if I'm not right about this, but from what I gathered from what somebody else had said when they visited during Elvis Week is before you walk into a room, they still may have these. Yeah, just saying you can't wait for the movie to be released. A lot of behind the scenes footage. Yeah, should be pretty good stuff. Benjamin Kiev bought it for wow. Benjamin, I'm trying. Was that Elvis's grandson who passed away a couple years ago? You can let me know if that's his grandson. Yeah, I thought that's who it was. Well, yeah, he passed away. He unfortunately left us a couple of years ago. He's actually buried right around the corner from Elvis, and like an above, almost like a mausoleum, like a small like mausoleum thing. It's right. He's buried right in the meditation garden near Elvis. What was I saying? Oh, what they were saying. Some of the reviews I saw. So before you go in, and you can walk right up to the jumpsuit. It was glass encased, obviously, probably airtight, and you'd have a little card, telling when Elvis wore the jumpsuit, how long he wore it for, how many different shows. But I think for this new exhibit that they started, they put him like against a wall. One on top of like you'd have one here, and then you'd have one where you have to look up and say it. And again, I could be wrong on that, but somebody, I think I read it just last week, and they said they didn't like it because you couldn't get close and get like good pictures of it. So I don't know if they did all of them that way. Marcus is saying yes, that's what they did. I thought that's what it was. Carrie David asks, what do you think about the 4-hour version of the movie? Even before the movie was released, I think the week or two before it was released, Baz Luhrmann said that he did have a 4-hour version, but he was in no rush to get it out. What that means, I don't know. We're down. Marcus says some of the more popular ones are down. Sundown, Aloha. Man, I hate the way these comments disappear so fast. Live chat. Give me a second, guys. Sorry about that. Some more popular. Oh, that's you again, Marcus. I'm very cautious about hair right now in general. He did have the perfect look, Jonas. Yeah, that's what was cool when I went in 2001. Like I said, it's been 21 years since I've been, and it doesn't seem like it's been that long. And I actually went. I was there about 4 days, and I stayed at, in fact, I think they shut, in fact, I know they did, they shut this down. It's not in operation, but it was called Elvis Presley's Heartbreak Hotel. And it was owned by Elvis Presley Enterprises. And it was literally like one, like you had the mansion and then you had like the visitor center. And then right next to that was Elvis Presley's Heartbreak Hotel. And it was cool. It was a cool place. But for whatever reason, about a year ago, they shut it down. And I think they either renamed it or I thought I had heard they tore it down and were building something new there. But it was cool to stay there. But I went to the tour. I did the deluxe tour. I may have done the deluxe tour both days. I know I did it the first day where he did the mansion, both jets, the car museum, everything. And then I think the second day I did it. That time I went solo. I was with another person, and then the second day they stayed behind in the hotel room, and I went by myself. And I think I just did the mansion tour again. We did the Memphis Zoo and all that. So we had really good food. We had a really nice time. Oh, Marcus said they built a new visitor center and museums on that spot. So I am right. So they did tear down I thought I had read that they had torn it down. And when I went there, it was gorgeous. It was stunning. Like it was a high class, very high ceiling place. Like they had the Graceland gift shops inside the hotel. You could buy the FTD stuff. It was all like themed. The bedrooms were spectacular. You had I remember in our room there was a big picture of Elvis wearing the I think it was the conch suit and from That's the Way It Is, the white one with the black circles on it. That was up behind her headboard. It was off to the side. Real big, beautiful, beautiful hotel. So I was kind of surprised when I read that they tore it down. Oh, Marcus, man, Marcus, you are a wealth of knowledge, buddy. 68 special, comeback special on Amazon. I actually don't own that one, Jonas. I recently, well, probably a few months ago, I was able to get a nice sealed copy of the Aloha special. It came out about, I don't know, 15 years ago or so. I got it for a really nice price because it's hard to find because they don't distribute it anymore. I do not have the comeback special. I wish hopefully this Blue Hawaii coming out on 4K. Oh, Ed said that, huh, Marcus? I didn't know that. Yeah, I'm sure a lot has changed in and around Graceland. But with Blue Hawaii coming out on 4K, I'm hoping this opens the door. Like I can't imagine like Easy Come Easy Go and Girl Happy. I can't imagine them ever coming to 4K. But I could see like Viva Las Vegas going to 4K. It would be incredible if Elvis on Tour went 4K. And dude, if That's the Way It Is went 4K, man, I'd probably buy multiple copies just to be able to watch one and keep one stored away because I have it on Blu-ray and it looks spectacular on my TV. Like I said, I got an OLED TV, and I got the top model when I bought it almost 3 years ago. I got the very top model. I really didn't spare it because I actually got it from somebody brand new, boxed, sealed, from somebody on eBay, and they had it shipped by freight. And I got it in a couple of days, and I love it. I absolutely love the TV. Absolutely great picture. And then, like I said, about a week and a half ago, I purchased a Panasonic. I think it's called the 820 something or other DS 4K player. It's got Dolby Digital, Dolby Vision, Atmos. It's got all the bells and whistles. So I picked that up, and it's unbelievable. So Carrie David asked if they'll ever release the unseen footage from Elvis on Tour. I have my doubts. I do. Only because you're talking 50 years later. This is the 50th anniversary. If they haven't done it yet, I don't think they're going to. I really don't. Carmine, how are you? I hope I'm saying your name right. Carmine asked me if I've ever seen Elvis live. Regrettably, I have not. I can say I was alive when he was alive for 9 years. I was 9 years old when he passed away. I have not. I do have there's a classmate that I've been friends with for almost 40 years. I started 9th grade high school with him. We went through exploratory school together. And I heard about that, Jonas, about his ovation. That was pretty awesome. Longest, I think, ever. But this friend of mine who I talk to, we chat like when I say talk, I mean text. He's a 25-year Army veteran. He retired, and he lives downstate. And him and I talk all the time. We meet up for lunch every so often. He's my best friend, and my oldest friend. And his mom and his dad. His dad's passed away, but his mom and dad went and saw Elvis at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. I want to say in March of 70, or it might have been either March or May of 1977. They saw him at the Spectrum. It was the last time Elvis was at the Spectrum. And then there was a girl I dated in high school. Her mom was a huge Elvis fan, and she had seen him, I think, at the same concert right around 1977. So I do know people that have actually seen him. And Ed from the King's Court, he actually has a picture of Elvis kissing his forehead and giving him a scar. So, man, what a thrill that would be. And of course, Ed was, I think he was like 4, maybe 5 at the time. Ed, if you're watching, I'm wrong about that. You can correct me later, but I want to say he was 5 because I think he was born. He's a year younger than me. I was born in '68. Ed, I know because he said it before. He was born, I think, in '69. I think the picture where he got kissed on the forehead by Elvis. Hey, Marco, how are you? I think that was in '74 at Nassau Coliseum. I can't remember. I watch a lot of Ed's videos. Really good stuff. He's doing something cool. I wish I had the extra funds to do it, but of course, his parents were co-founders of the King's Court, which is the name of his channel. March of '77 in Abilene. Very cool, Donna. That must have been awesome. I know Elvis wasn't at his best as far as health-wise. He was really struggling with his health, and Elvis was hurting then, but he's still the voice was phenomenal, even going through what he was going through towards the end there. Good to know, Donna. That's pretty cool. Just like that, I lost my train of thought again. But yeah, Ed from King's Court, he's reprinting. His parents did like newsletters, and he reprinted, made like a nice poster, and reprinted the different volumes of the and they're like small, but he signed it, numbered it. He had 10 of them made, so he numbered them, initialed them, and he's selling them for $100 plus shipping. So Ed just giving you a little bit of a promo there. My older friend who lives here now. Yeah, it was sad when he passed. Hold on, I'm trying to read these. I hate this about if they ever come out and they say, what can we do better? I'm going to say, look, leave your comments up. Touchdown euros. There's a lot of speculation. Yeah, Jonas, there it is. There's so much speculation about if he would have toured, but Parker wouldn't allow it. But towards the end of Elvis, probably the last 5+ years of Elvis's life, Elvis started taking a stand. Big time, a big thing he took a stand on was the '68 comeback special. I hate calling it because to me it was no comeback. He was leaving movies, going into live performance. But the thing that I really liked that Elvis did is Elvis really took the reins on that. The Colonel did not want him to do If I Can Dream to close the show. And the movie kind of also depicts this. The timelines are way off, but again, it's Hollywood. It was supposed to be, he was supposed to close the show with I'll Be Home for Christmas. It was a comeback to music. I agree, Marco. Good music instead of some of the soundtracks toward the end. Yeah, Marcus, I agree. He did say that. And like I said, I hated when he called him his boy. I hated that. But the '68 special was supposed to be a Christmas special. And Elvis and the producers vetoed that and said, absolutely not. This needs to showcase Elvis. And then, from what I can understand, it's arguably my favorite. If I Can Dream is arguably my favorite, all-time favorite song as well. Yeah, the producers vetoed the fact that it would not be a Christmas special. They wanted to showcase Elvis's talents. So then I found out probably about 3 months ago that Colonel Parker then wanted to do almost like dance routines and like have dancers behind us. Like it was really corny. And Elvis was like, no. So in the wake of Martin Luther King's assassination in April of that year, they got somebody to write a show specifically for Elvis. And yes, I agree. He looked amazing in the '60s comebacks, but I don't know if he ever looked better. He looked absolutely stunning in the footage. And he looked healthy. He looked vibrant. He was trim, just probably the best shape of his life. Okay, Carrie Dave, thanks for hope I got all your questions. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Nigel, hold on. I'm sorry, I didn't hit the wrong button. I hate that. The comments just are not up long enough. Nigel says he hasn't seen. You haven't seen the new movie, Nigel? Yeah. Like I said, I'm in the middle of the movie, and I know most people loved it. The colonel was an alien. It cracked me up. It's funny, Jonas. Um, but yeah. So he was supposed to close the show with "Good morning, Ed." Ed, I just gave you, I hope you didn't mind, I just gave you a little prop about your um, numbered and initialed poster and the pamphlet, the booklets. I think it's a novel idea. I think it's an awesome idea. I wish I had an extra $100 because I would snap it up. And I don't know, man. I might just do it. I don't have the extra money right now, but how cool would that be to have that? If you approach a fairy tale, it's sort of the movie is very good. I agree, Marco. But yeah, and I gave you a little bit of a promo just to let folks know. I think you've sold. Last update I saw from you is that you have sold 5 of the 10. So that's awesome. I know you put a lot of work into it. Almost sold out. Ed, how many do you have left, if you don't mind me asking? I'm going to venture and say you have 3 left. That's my guess. I hate the pop-ups when I'm doing these. Hate it. But yeah, check out Ed's channel. Ed was actually the very first YouTube channel I ever subscribed to. Not only was he the first Elvis one, he was the first period of anybody that I subscribed to. I probably subscribed to like 54 as of now. Wow. Yeah, Ed, man, I would. I'm strongly thinking about it, man. Money, I will tell you, with all the updates we've done on the house, the deck, going into post office. Okay, Ed, have a good day, buddy. You've been doing a lot of videos lately. I've really, really enjoyed them, just so you know. Yeah, with all the work we're doing, we finished the deck a couple of weeks ago. That was a huge, huge project. Took us over budget. And then hopefully this next Saturday, Joe says, how much does an LP with Elvis's autograph go for? I wouldn't even begin to tell you. A lot. I'll make more there. And that'd be awesome. Be awesome. Ed, one cool just like you. Thanks, Nigel. Nigel's so kind. My issue, okay, so you asked about an Elvis signature. I'd be very leery to buy anything that says that it's autographed because from what I'm hearing with some of the auction things that I see and pawn shops and things like that, they get a lot of Elvis stuff and there's so much counterfeit stuff out there. Even like a scarf. The only way I would get, no, Ed, I think he took off. He had to go to the post office. Ed has sold a number of scarves, and he has some in his room where he does his videos. If I was to buy a scarf and Ed would ever sell one, and I had a couple of thousand, he'd be the only one I'd buy them from. Or if it was like an auction site that was legitimate, because you see one, and every once in a while you'll see one on eBay. And I'm like, there is no way on God's green earth I'm buying a scarf. Yeah, Marcus, you are right. Marcus said some of his entourage signed stuff for him as well. And you see that a lot, not only with musical artists, you see it in Hollywood. And you don't. Marcus said you don't know if it's authentic. And that's why I would never buy anything autographed. I might get like an autographed baseball card or a football card, but I would never spend several hundred to get a signature of Elvis, any actor in Hollywood, you know, whoever you like, because like Marcus just mentioned in the chat, that people within their circle sign it for them. And that happens a lot. Now, if they have proof like Ed, and like I said, it would either be Ed that I would buy a scarf from, or it would have to be somebody in like an auction, like a certified, authentic auction site. Jonas, who is Ed? I'm not following. So Ed has a channel called The King's Court. He has had the channel for I think about 10 years. Great channel. So Ed's parents, the reason why his channel is called The King's Court, Ed's mom and dad were co-founders and like part of they ran it was a fan club in New York called the King's Court. They actually went to Vegas and met. I think it was in Vegas. They met Elvis. They gave him a plaque, congratulating him from the court. He's got a picture. Ed's parents has a picture of his mom and dad with Elvis, and his mom I think has given Elvis the plaque right before a performance. He's got a picture of his parents with Pat, the friends of his parents are Pat. I cannot remember the husband's name. I should as many times I've watched his videos, but it's Pat and then Ed's mom and dad, and the four of them ran the King's Court. I know they had a little bit of a falling out years later, but or during this time, and that's why his parents left. But Ed will say more about that. I don't want to get too much into that, but there's a picture also of Ed's parents and this person, Pat, and her husband. I believe it's the four of them with Colonel Parker. And Colonel Parker arranged for them to meet Elvis to give him this plaque. And his parents have seen Elvis probably, I don't know, 100 times. They actually went to all four shows at Madison Square Garden in 1972. Marco, a Johnny Cash autograph in person. That is so cool. Well, you know, that's awesome. That's awesome. Actually, Johnny Cash passed away 19 years ago today. Pat and Jim. Yes, thank you, Marco. Pat and Jim, thank you. I knew you set me straight. Yeah, Jim and Pat, or Pat and Jim, they were husband and wife. I think Ed's dad met him when they were, I want to say when they were waiting for tickets at Madison Square Garden or Nassau Coliseum. I don't know. I'm probably completely destroying Ed's stories here. But I think the thing that I like about Ed's channel is not only the authenticity of it, the fact that he's seen Elvis, I think a few times, got a scar from him, got a kiss on the forehead. His parents have seen him countless times. His mom recorded a lot of the shows, which Ed did have transferred from cassette tape over to digital, I believe. But Ed's very cut to the chase, very authentic, just a nice guy. I every once in a while, I'll even go back and I'll binge watch some of his videos because he's got a very cool collection of albums and CDs. And lately, he's been more about like the King's Court and the legacy behind it. He's been doing more of those videos lately. He's kind of gotten, I think it's just a temporary thing. He's kind of gotten away from the album reviews, but he does throw one in there. He'll sprinkle one in there now and again. But yeah, check it out, the King's Court. Nice. Thanks, Nigel. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, yeah, he's got quite a library. Like I said, he just hit 5,000 subscribers. So that was a big milestone for him. He hit that a few months back. Oh, cool. Hold on. Come on. I purchased one again. Yeah, man, I would love to like I said, the $100 thing, man. I would just, because for me, you're supporting this channel. And like I said, if it wasn't for the cost of some of the things we've done, in fact, what I was getting to, this Saturday we start doing our basement. We are completely gutting it. We're putting up some drywall, putting a new floor in, sealing it, putting in, because we got a crack in our foundation in our basement, so we've got some water issues. So we're sealing that all up, putting the new floor in. Like I said, new drywall, decorating it. We're Denver Broncos fans, so we're going to make it a Broncos room. We got all kinds of paraphernalia and stuff, plaques and helmets and all that stuff. It's going to be my office and also my gym, all my equipment down there to work out. It's a pretty big area, and it leads out to the back door. So that's going to cost a decent sum of money, but it's long overdue. We've been here actually 10 years this month, and just a lot of stuff we want to get done. Got to get a new door on the front of the house, a new screen door. So, yeah, Austin does have a good voice, Jonas. I agree with you. I think he does a fantastic job. Not Elvis, but he does good. So yeah, I don't know, man. The more I think about it, I would love to get one of those posters. And like I said, Ed's just a good guy. He is. He's just a very, very cool guy. And yeah, man cave, Nigel. You're correct. It is a man cave. My wife even says, man, I won't really get to enjoy it much because it's your office because I work from home. it's your office down there, your gym, and so we'll see. But that's probably going to be about a 2 or 3 weekend job because I work on Sundays now. I used to work on Saturdays, was off Sunday. Now I'm off Saturday, work Sunday. But yeah, so I would, man, I would love to be able to get that poster. I'm almost hoping, that Ed makes more of them, and I can uh, buy one of them from him because it would be really cool to have. I wouldn't display it anywhere simply because I don't have the space to display it, but it would just be a cool memento to have. All right, so we've been going for almost an hour, so we'll go for maybe another 15 minutes. But let's see what else to talk about in the Elvis world. Yeah, so the new Elvis movie, it's actually on HBO. Hope you grab one, Mark. I know it would be worth it. Yeah, Kenneth, I wasn't going to, like I said, because of the cost. I know my wife would be like, "You spent $100 on what?" But she knows I collect. She knows I buy. I try not to go overboard. I have cut back quite a bit. Oh, I got something cool to tell you all. So those of you that follow my channel, I have been trying to get the complete FTD LP set collection. Last count, I think I can't even remember if there's 42 FTD LPs or 43. And the last one being, the Kid Galahad LP, which is phenomenal, by the way. I actually have it. I've listened to it. I think I might buy another one just to keep a sealed copy of it. The newer ones I've tried to get double. I did have 2 of Girls, Girls, Girls. Marcus, I want to address your question in a second. And I actually gave away my one Girls, Girls, Girls to somebody who follows my channel, who's a good friend, and he didn't have it, so I sent it to him. So I do have another copy of it. But no, Ed is the one that's missing. He has every one. It was Ed, Marcus. Ed has all 42 of them, I think. Oh, thank you, Kenneth. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. Thank you as well, Kenneth. I appreciate that. Yeah, and that's what keeps me going. I tell you what, you guys in your comments, you're so gracious and you're so kind, and it means a lot to me. And I don't say that in jest. I mean that as sincerely as I can put it across. Without you all, my channel, I couldn't keep it going, and it's growing. I say it all the time. I know it's beating a dead horse, but I always like to show appreciation for anything that's done for me or supportive of me. Jonas said, "Can you buy original Elvis signed things off Ed?" You can always reach out to him if you subscribe to his channel. You can reach out to him and ask him. I don't know. I know he's probably sold more than half of the scarves that his mom had got. His mom got a crap load of scarves. And Ed thinks on the cover of, is it Today? It's Today, where he's got the yellow scarf with that, I think it's the Aztec jumpsuit. Ed thinks he's got that scarf. And it wouldn't surprise me because I think that particular photograph was taken at Nassau Coliseum. Thank you, Nigel. Nigel, you're too kind. I'm blushing. No. So yeah, Ed thinks he's got that scarf. But I think Ed has sold off, I want to say more than half of his scarves. But he still has a lot of them. But getting back to my FTD, so I think there's 43. So yeah, Ed needs Blue Hawaii. I was the first one he didn't get. He said he wasn't interested. He knew he wouldn't listen to it. I'll have to have a little talk with Ed because that's my favorite soundtrack. But he has them all but the first one. And then the second one, of course, was Standing Room Only. And that's when he started buying them. Me, I actually got Blue Hawaii fairly... Ooh. Sorry. I got the little notification. I won't be able to go too much longer because I only got 20% power. I don't, Jonas. I have no idea how much they go for. That's a good question. So I had needed about a month and a half ago. I had them all but 4 of them, and I picked up the Jungle Room Sessions. Got it for an amazing price compared to what it has been going for. I got it for almost half of what I've seen it elsewhere. And then I got a Hot August Night probably about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. Got that for a really good price. And I was making payments towards this guy who actually reached out to me because of my channel, knew I needed these for, and I'm looking forward to it. Oh, wow. You got the number 3 one. Very nice. So Kenneth asked if I will be getting the Blu-ray. I'm torn. I probably will. If I want to buy it, but I'll buy it on 4K because that's the format I use. And I will probably pre-order Elvis on tour. For those of you who maybe didn't hear the beginning of this stream, um, Marcus, who is on now with us, you can get it on Amazon. Marcus, you can correct me. I think you said it before. Um, I think you said it was $82 or $85. Where on other sites it's about 115. King's Court. Hey Jonas, oh, hold on a minute, man. And if you're like me, does it bug the crap out of you that these comments always stay up? $81.99. It's for Elvis on tour on Amazon. Hey Jonas, I would charge a fortune to sell scars with autographs. I know mine are all authentic and they are priceless to me. While you were at the post office, somebody brought that up, and I actually said that because Jonas had asked me if I would ever like buy a scarf, and the answer is no, with the exception of buying it from you if I had the money and if I was able to. Um, so 4K. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. I want to see what that last comment said. I hate that. I hate these comments disappear so quick. The 4K cover for Elvis looks amazing. Yeah, Kenneth, I think so. I will buy it just because I gotta have it. If it's on 4K, I gotta buy it. And Ed, I don't know if you heard this. Blue Hawaii is coming out on 4K November 15th. Anyway, to kind of bounce back on what Ed was saying about how his scars are authentic, he would be the only one. If I had the several hundreds or thousands it would take to buy it from Ed, he would be the only one that I would buy them for because I know they're authentic. I know that they were gotten from either his mother, mostly from his mom, from what I understand in his videos, or if it was like a legit auction site. But it was probably about a month ago. I actually Ed, so I'll always be the one. Ed came close. Ed got an offer a couple months back, but I don't know, man. What the guy wanted from you in exchange for that Blue Hawaii, I don't think I would have done it either. I think it was a couple of the what do you call it? Not the promo LPs. Man, my mind is just not working today. But yeah, a guy tried to make a trade with Ed, and Ed did a video. I think it was on a Sunday, and it was like, should I do it? Should I pull the trigger? First, test pressings. Thank you, Marcus. Man, Marcus is on point. But they wanted, I want to say it was the Elvis Stacks, or maybe it was, I know Ed's got the Elvis Stacks as test pressing, but I think it was something else that the guy wanted. In exchange, he would give Ed the Blue Hawaii FTD. Yeah, Ed, I think, decided that it wasn't the right move. It would complete his collection, but at first when I was watching the video, I'm like, Ed, do it. It's the last one to complete your collection. Do it. But then the more as I watched the video, about maybe halfway point of the video to about 3/4, I'm thinking, yeah, this isn't vibing, because I think what Ed is giving up compared to what he'd be getting in return, I think it would have been an injustice. Like, it would have been cool for him to have it, and I don't know. And I think it was Nigel asked if I thought the prices of FTDs will go down. I don't know. It depends. It depends on what goes on in the economy. I never will, and I don't get political on this. I have my own beliefs. I would just say with the nature of how the economy is headed and where it's going. And I'm hearing there's some dark clouds on the horizon. I hope I'm wrong, but things are going to get much worse. Um, but I don't know. I think if times get hard and people are looking to unload some stuff, you might find it cheaper on eBay. I tell you, the one place that is not a good place to get FTD vinyl is Discogs. Discogs, man, that people are selling on them, man. They want. I did a video on this a couple months back. Um, in one weekend, somebody had two sealed copies on Discogs. It was somebody, one I think was in Spain, and the other seller was in the UK. And the one guy wanted, I think it was $882 and change, because Discogs, it'll give you the conversion amount. Like, of course, it could be in pounds or whatever their currency is there. And it was like $892.12. It was just a weird amount. And then somebody had it. It was up for sale for probably a good 6 weeks, maybe even longer. The guy wanted, again with the conversion, it was like 1,002, and it was a brand new sealed copy. Had the hype sticker on it, and I thought, man, there ain't no way anyone was going to pay $1,000 for this record. And in one weekend, it was like a Saturday night into a Sunday morning, they both sold, because with Discogs, it updates immediately. If it gets sold, it's off the stream or whatever. Like when you go to scroll, if you type in, Elvis, standing room only or whatever, left. I was freshly 6. I was off. See, man, I'm never right about this stuff. Yeah, it sold for. They both sold within an hour, probably within 10 hours of each other. So one sold. Well, the guy who had it for $882, he had an offer, like he would take offers. So I can't imagine he probably did take less for it, but still, minimum $800. And the other one was just straight up 1,002, and they both sold. So people are paying big money for the, man, Ed, you're good. July 19th to 75. Nassau. I did get the venue right. I said Nassau Coliseum. But I know you also saw him, I want to say in Connecticut. I saw a video you did about a month ago, but again, I could be way wrong on that. But Nigel, again, to kind of talk about, add on to what we're talking about, the Blue Hawaii FTD is going for sick money. I don't know why, but Promised Land last summer was going for really stupid money, like $600. Good Times, the outtakes, that goes for stupid money. Oh my. And I would answer that question for you, but I'll let you do the honors. Yes, trying to think what some of the other ones that goes for really stupid money. So TBC since 73 says, I got 24 FTD vinyl. It is like, if anybody came to the game, and I have said this before, if anybody's looking to start collecting the FTD vinyls, yeah, unless you're, unless you make a very good solid living, yeah, it's next to impossible. So I did buy, I need two. I have there's two FTD LPs I need. I needed, like I said, last month I got the Jungle Room Sessions, and I got Hot August Night, and then I just bought on Friday, I bought Good Times, the outtakes. Got it for pretty good. I got it a lot cheaper than what it's been selling everywhere else. I got that coming probably by Wednesday or Thursday, and I'll need one more, and that's the Jailhouse Rock Volume 1. And I'm making arrangements with the same gentleman to buy that one, and then I'm done. Oh, sorry, so there was a question. I don't want to miss these questions. They pop up so quick. Do you think we will get the 4-hour director's cut? This is from Kenneth. He said, crap, this thing is so sensitive. He said that, Jonas says, will there be an LP soundtrack? I don't think there will be. I know you can buy it digitally. You can stream it on either Amazon or Apple Music, or you can buy the CD. I think, and Ed did a review on that one. More props to Ed on that. He did a video on that probably about a month or so ago. Me personally, I won't be getting it. I don't have anything. against anybody who has it. But I was talking to my wife and my daughter about this about a week ago, and my daughter had asked me, she's like, Dad, have you listened to the soundtrack? I'm like, I've listened to some of it. There's parts of it I do definitely like. There's really cool renditions of stuff. I like the songs that Austin Butler did on it. To me, there's not enough Elvis on it, but again, that's just my opinion. And it bugs me that there's an explicit lyric label on the CD. And again, call me what you want, say I'm ridiculous, but that's just, Elvis released so many albums during his lifetime, and his music was clean. It was wholesome, and you never had that sticker on it. And then the soundtrack comes out because there's some rap stuff on it. I'm not a fan of rap. I have nothing against anybody who does like it. It's just not for me. I think the thing that bugs me, I talked about this either in my last stream or in a video I did. This bugged me. So back in 99, 2000, right around in there, Eminem, who at the time I really enjoyed, I listened to him a lot. There's one song where he disses Elvis, and he disses him hard. And then fast forward 20 years or so, and he's actually on the soundtrack. And that kind of bothered me, because I'm like, okay, you were dissing him 20 years ago, but now, you're probably going to get some royalties for doing the song, and so there you have it. Let's see, buddy. It wasn't for me. So sorry, I hate these pop-ups. So yeah, I'll probably go another 10 minutes. My phone, I just got the alert. I got like 15% power on my phone, but I'll go probably like another 10, 15 minutes. These things, the time goes so quick when you're doing these. I've already been on for 66 minutes. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of the soundtrack at all, but again, that's just me. Maybe I'm just being too harsh, but it's just, that's what makes the world go around. Everybody has their own opinion about stuff. Everybody likes different things. The soundtrack, I like some of it, but it's just not for me. I had the CD, I like some of it, not enough Elvis, I agree, and explicit. Man, come on, I hate the comments. Stay up longer. Comments? Okay, explicit sits like a sore thumb. Lots of major songs from it. No Unchained. Yeah, Kenneth, that's kind of how I feel. Kenneth just said, the explicit lyric sticker banner sticks out like a sore thumb. It's just, to me, it looks wrong. Like, you have this CD with a cool black background. You got the logo from the movie. You got the big Elvis, the TCB logo with the lightning bolt. And then on the bottom right-hand corner, explicit content or explicit lyrics, whatever, warning. I'm like, it's Elvis. Like, how can you, I don't know. I guess I'm a dad of 4 girls. I have 2 granddaughters, and I just, I'm very protective of them, and especially my younger daughters. My two daughters they're grown, they're out on their own. They can listen to what they want to, but my wife and I are very protective of our younger girls. And, I don't know. It's funny because like sometimes on Apple Music, it'll say, review these, real Elvis. Yep. Review these 10 albums that come out today, and it gives the date. And if you scroll through them, I'm not kidding you, 9 to 10 of them have explicit content. I didn't have that growing up. I can dream. I wanted to see your comment. Man. I'm sure there's a way you can set this up to where they stay on. Why no version? If I can dream, I think there was a version that was made for the movie, but I don't know if it made it onto the soundtrack. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I know I'm not the norm. I know I'm not, I'm kind of I'm kind of like a small group. I do know some of Elvis's cousins. I subscribe to some of their channels. I know they absolutely despise the movie. They came out of the theater almost, pissed off. And there's been a lot of chitter chatter about, how come, Linda Thompson wasn't in this? You're such an integral part. We're not the Democrat for the soundtrack. I agree, Ed. Absolutely. And again, don't get me wrong, man. Like, too older. Wait, you sound like Yoda when you said that, Ed. Too older. And you and I are similar that way, Ed, too, because I absolutely love Star Wars. I grew up on Star Wars. I had all the action figures, and now I'm trying to get all the four movies on 4K. So yeah, I'm huge. I love the Obi-Wan. Again, I know this is all this, but it's okay if we venture off just for like a second. I love the Obi-Wan series. Um, Boba Fett and the Book of Boba Fett, yeah, not as good as what it could have been. Loved the Mandalorian. So I know I got off on a tangent, but um, Billy Joe, yeah, that's who it was, Nigel. Billy Smith and his wife Joe Smith, I think that's her name. They did like a 3-part review, and each part was like 20 minutes, and they tore it apart. They just said, they knew Elvis. I guess I'm thinking old school too. Yeah, Kenneth. Um, I I just they ripped the movie apart. Hey, refuse to give Disney anymore. Star Wars is. And I gotta read your comment because that was cracking me up. Star Wars is dead to me now. I'll always have the classic trilogy. Yeah, I don't know, man. I will say of the three newer, the last three that they made from Disney, I enjoyed them. They were entertaining. I actually really liked The Rise of Skywalker. I did. That was, to me, that was the best of the three because it had the Emperor in it. Um, the prequels, I thought Phantom Menace was absolutely horrendous. It was very cartoony, and Jar Jar Binks bugged the crap out of me. He should have been in it, about 98% than he actually was. The whole Anakin thing as a kid was annoying. Um, Attack of the Clones was better. Still was just, I really liked Revenge of the Sith. I loved how it told the story of how Anakin became Vader and all that. But I know this is all this, so like I said, it's okay to venture off a little bit. But it said Disney is dead to me. Yeah, Disney. I actually read. I think it's been a few weeks ago where Disney is actually hemorrhaging some money. It was lightning in a bottle, never be. I agree. The original three to me were just. I don't care how hard they work on it. I don't care what Disney does. They will never be topped. My favorite all time. It was the first 4K movie. I just got it a few days ago. Was at The Empire Strikes Back. I saw that when I was, how old was I? 12, 1980. I saw that in the theater with my sister. My sister was 8. No, yeah, 8. And I was 12. I bought the the comic book of it. Was it a book? I had that for a long time, but from another director. Hold on, I want to see that comment. Do I think? Hold on. Do you think there? Jonas, I don't think so. I think McKinney. What the hell is McClunky? Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I don't think there'll be another Elvis movie. At least not in my lifetime. I could be wrong, but like I said, I think the where Baz Luhrmann dropped the ball is he did not reflect enough on Elvis's generosity, his kind spirit, the way he liked to give gifts, how much his fans meant to him. That's the part that I can't get past. I think if he would have showed that more, there were parts of it where they showed Elvis as almost like a tortured soul. And I know everybody puts Elvis on this huge pedestal, and he was a great humanitarian. And like I said, I think he's the greatest entertainer there ever has been or ever will be. Have been a fan since I was 4 years old. I was just a little kid, and so yeah, 50 years this year I've been a fan. But I just think he could have been depicted more positively than he was. But that's not me knocking it. I'm not. I'm just trying to be subjective. Tom Hanks went from being yeah, I heard I thought that was him in that new Pinocchio live action. I thought that was Geppetto in there. Um, and yeah, Jonas, I agree. I think they could not have gotten anybody better to play Elvis than Austin Butler. I know he put his heart and soul in it. I heard he stepped away from the project for about a year um, because he felt enormous pressure to bring justice to the role. So he watched a lot of his movies and tried to practice his mannerisms. And I think I think he gave his heart and soul in that role. Um, so yeah, to answer those a question about 10 minutes ago, I think I did initially answer it. Yeah, I will get it on 4K. I'll buy the physical copy. The issue with streaming is it'll tell you that it's streaming in 4K, and it'll even say it's streaming in Dolby Vision, but there is a distinct difference of having a physical copy playing it than streaming it. It looks good streaming, but it looks absolutely jaw dropping to watch it on hate the pop ups. Uh, it's jaw dropping to watch it on a nice TV with a good player. So I will get it just to say that I own it. Um, I'll definitely watch it with my daughter again. That's who I took my third daughter. She just turned 13. I took her to the movie. I know Ed took his daughter too. He took his son, I think, before that. I think his pop went with him once. I only saw it once. Like I said, I didn't hate it. I know probably some of you watching are thinking, Mark, dude, like you're ripping to shreds. I did enjoy it. I found it very entertaining. There were some parts of it I thought were spectacular. Like I said the ending, I think, got everybody. Yeah, if you don't have a heart beating in your chest and that ending did not hit you right here, yeah, there's something wrong with you because the ending was spectacular. Um, so yeah, so I will own the physical copy of it, and I will get Blue Hawaii on 4K. 'Cause like I said, I have it on DVD in my shelf, and it looks great on DVD. I think. Yeah, I agree, Kenneth. Kenneth said the Vegas rehearsal scene was phenomenal. That was good. The actual shows at the International, later the Hilton, I think they were spot on. Um, his mannerisms, I think, were a little exaggerated, but again, it's Hollywood. You got to have that. So I don't knock that. I think, like I said, I think he did the role. He did it justice. Um, but yeah, Ed, if you're still on, I do hope you do. I have a feeling you're going to sell out your last four, I think, by this evening. Um, I'm hoping that you do run off maybe another 10. I know it's a big endeavor on your part, a lot of work on your part, a lot of money on your part. I know you're recouping some of it, but the fact that you're kind enough to number it, sign it, I just think it's cool. I just think it was a great idea. I don't know what inspired you to do that, but I think it was awesome. So hopefully you do run off some more, and I can get the next batch. That's what I'm hoping. It's definitely not for a lack of or a desire of having it, because, like I said, I love your channel. I love what you do. I think yours is, because it is so unique in that yours is pretty much what I know of, the only channel where your parents were. Elvis was a huge part of their life. They followed him through the 70s. Saw him at all four shows at the Garden, the Vegas shows, the scars that your mom got, you seeing them and getting the kiss on the. I'm not going to say, because I'll probably get it wrong, on the cheek. And who can top that? And just your videos that you've done. You haven't checked out his videos. I agree, Kenneth. It did make you feel like you were at the International. Um, the last probably 3 weeks of the King's Court, like tracking it and all the history behind it and the photo that you're with your parents giving. Um, Nigel, I'll talk about that in just a quick second. But yeah, if you don't subscribe to Ed's channels, again, it's the King's Court, awesome channel. He just gives, he has got a front row view, a front row recollection of everything. And he was young when he saw Elvis, but I'm sure he remembers it well. Ed and his parents also were good friends with Ed Banja, who was Elvis's photographer for a number of years in the early 70s. A lot of the, my throat's going to go. A lot of those classic shots you see on some of his album covers were Ed Banja. He's got a book that Ed has. I want to get that book, and I think I've seen it on eBay, but I want to get a nice copy of it. Nigel was asking me when I was going to do my video with David. David does Elvis Presley in Japan. He is very, very knowledgeable on anything and everything Elvis in Japan. He has a great channel. About 2 weeks ago, I'd say 2.5 weeks ago, we did a video together on my channel. This time it's going to be on his channel. So he is tentatively, it's scheduled for 11 p.m. Eastern time this Thursday night. It will actually be Friday morning there in Japan where he is. But we did the co-op video, had a great time. He's so easy to talk to. I just enjoyed picking his brain, and he taught me a lot. And it's just I had a really good time with him. no effort involved. It just everything flowed very organically, and I really enjoyed it. So we both agreed that we're going to do a second show, and if it keeps if it keeps with the popularity, we may continue to do it. So he's just a good guy. We were supposed to do it this last Thursday, but it was the same day that Queen Elizabeth had passed. So we decided to postpone it, and then he did reach out to me a few days ago and to see if I wanted to do it this Thursday. So that's one of my days off, so that's when we're going to do it. So with that, I think I want to wrap this up. We've been gone an hour and 20 minutes, so a little bit longer than I had thought, but it was a very engaging, very fun. I enjoy these, man. I love these. I love talking to Marcus and Ed and Carrie Day, everybody who participated. Ed, have a good one, buddy. Good luck with getting those last 4 sold. Like I said, I hope you run off another set because we'd like to get my hands on that poster. I tried to reach out to you. Hey, Will. Were you trying to reach out through me through email? Is that what you mean? Have a good day, Jonas. Thanks for watching. I'll stay on it for a couple minutes just to get your response. Yeah, so tentatively that is scheduled for this Thursday night, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the States. With David, with him being, thank you, Nigel. Yeah. Okay, Willie. Yeah, let me give that to you. Yeah, I don't mind giving out my email. It's actually on my page, but I'll give it to you. Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate you, bro. So my email is Mark. It's MARK .Kinsey KINSEY 50 @yahoo.com. So mark.kinsey50 @yahoo.com. When you email me, just let me know. Let me know that you watched the stream, that we had talked about this, because if I get it, I'm like, who is this? So just acknowledge who you were, and yeah, I'll answer any question you have, anything you want to talk about, or because I talk to a lot of people. Steve says, looks like I missed the whole show. Just by luck, I'll have to watch the rerun later. Take care. You also. I appreciate you tuning in. So yeah, anybody. That's the thing. That's how I was able to get these last few FTDs that I'm looking to get. Thank you, Kev. I appreciate that. Appreciate you, buddy. More than you know. Appreciate always the support. That's what keeps this so inviting and so fun to do. You all keep it that way for me, and I really appreciate it. I mean that sincerely. But yeah, that's how somebody had reached out to me who had been a subscriber to my channel. Reached out to him, said, look, I know you have these FTD LPs. Mark needs 4 of them to complete his collection. So he reached out to me by email. And then, like I said, I bought 3 of the 4. I need 1 more. The next to the last one should be arriving, I'd say by Wednesday, Thursday at the latest. It's the Good Times, the outtakes. And then the last one I need is Jailhouse Rock Volume 1. And then I'm looking to get that from him in the next few weeks. And that'll complete it. So okay, cool. Well, I appreciate that. I look forward to that. Yeah, I'm always interested in that kind of stuff. So, all right. Well, again, thank you all for watching. I would really like to do this once a week. I don't know. I don't see why I couldn't, like every Monday at 10 a.m. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you would like me to do maybe an hour each Monday as a live stream. I like to stay connected. I like to hear your guys' thoughts, your takes on things, your questions you may have, because that's what it's about. It's always about the legacy of Elvis's music and just who he was. So with that, I hope each of you have a great Monday. Take care of yourselves, and we will talk